We should be going live. Welcome everyone, this is On Just Restart, and we're going to be doing a little Q&A stream. I'm not sure how many people are going to show up. I've been a bit slow the last couple of weeks with the content, been busy with work, and I'm not going to make excuses, it's just been hard. But, it's gotten to the 3-year point. I usually don't really celebrate these things, right? But I have been wanting to do kind of like a Q&A where I just kind of like sit down with you guys and just go through different questions. I did get a few questions from you guys from the different Twitter and community posts that I posted throughout the week, so I will be going through those. But of course, for those in the chat, offer as many questions as you want, and we'll try to get to all of them, and probably then some. That's how I kind of expect this to go. But for those who are watching, please let me know how the audio is, how everything looks and sounds. I would really appreciate it. Josh Sheriff, I see you already there. How you doing, buddy? What's going on? You're so excited. This is gonna be. I hope it is hype. I hope it is. I hope we get into some really good discussion. We maybe we'll talk a bit about myself, maybe, or about Nintendo, and just have a good time. So that is the goal for this Q&A. Just talk about whatever and enjoy doing it. So, I'm gonna kind of let people filter through before we really jump into the thick of things. The internet can totally see you now. Okay, good. Thank you, YouTube, for telling me that. When did I start doing podcasts? Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. So I believe the podcast currently is numbered at podcast number 73. Right. So podcast number 73, we've done 73 podcasts as a podcast is in its current form. Now, I would have to go back and look to make sure, but I would say when podcast 1, I think I went back and checked, that is when Brandon came on board, right? That's when Brandon and I met each other, and he loved coming onto the podcast, and he's probably one of the best people to talk about Nintendo with. So it was from that point on that, him and I just kind of started doing the podcast together consistently, regularly. Before that, though, I did do another podcast on the channel. I did it with Sean from Mullen64. I did it with another Sean from Inside Gaming Online, and Coloco, or Nintendo Andy as well. Us four, they were my first, YouTube friends, right? And we tried to do a podcast together. I did it on my channel because it was my idea, but all of us had conflicting schedules, and it was really hard to kind of do it consistently. So we didn't do it consistently, even though we tried, and it was a lot of work. But we had some good discussions. That was my first podcast experience, and we did a fair bit of those on this channel before Brandon came on board, and we had the whole, podcast image change, and I started numbering them and things of that nature. Actually, technically, the first 40 aren't even numbered. I just went back and counted back. I didn't want to create 45 thumbnails putting in the different podcast numbers. So once I decided to go back and start numbering them from the initial podcast change where we started doing it consistently every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So that, I guess, it's been over a year. It's been a year and a half since the podcast change as it is now, right? So that's there's 52 weeks in a year. We're at 73. We don't do it every week. We skip a couple weeks here and there, but for the most part, I would say 90% of the time, we do a podcast. We probably only miss it 4 times in the year. That's it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of roughly when the podcast started. Say hello there, Super Chris. What's up, bro? Sabbath, how you doing, man? Vooper, how you doing? Good evening. Sabbath, have I seen the Sonic movie trailer? The director is going to fix Sonic's design because people hate it. I saw all of that. I saw the trailer. I didn't do a reaction, one, because I wasn't sure. First of all, I wasn't prepared for the trailer. But then I just saw it, and I clicked it, and I saw it, and I watched it on my phone, and, well, I already seen it, so I'm not going to do a reaction. I've already seen it. I didn't record it. But, I mean, if I had recorded a reaction, I would have just said, yeah, a lot of this is bad. But some of it's not bad. But I'm also glad that, yeah, it does look like they're going to be changing the design because everyone's hating on it. But my brief thoughts on what we've seen of the Sonic trailer so far. Basically, all the leaked images, 100% legitimate, right? And what we're seeing is basically what looks to me like it's going to be a bad movie. I don't think it's going to be a great movie. But that doesn't mean it's not going to be fun to watch, right? For example, in 1993, there was the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which is terrible. It's an abomination, and I don't think Nintendo even wants to acknowledge that as an actual Mario movie. But it happened, and it's bad, but as a kid, I saw it, and I still kind of enjoyed it. I was still, even as like an 11-year-old kid, I was still watching it thinking, oh my god, like this is a head scratcher. And for the record, when I'm not saying I was 11 when it came out, okay, that's when I remember watching it approximately, right? I was born in 1991, I'm 27 now, just full disclaimer, okay? But anyway, yeah, the old Mario movie is bad. Like, all the designs don't really match at all, right? They don't really pay too much homage to the actual series. There isn't really any Mario charm in it. And the writing isn't very good. The story isn't satisfactory at all. Like, there isn't really anything that's incredible about it, but it's weird and quirky and funny, and it's kind of like so bad it's good. So for those reasons, it's interesting to me, and I'm glad it exists. But it's also the reason why Nintendo didn't make a movie for over 20 years, because that was such an abomination. They had very little control over what was happening creatively, and I mean, I think it was good because it was a good starting point, right? I think Nintendo learned their lesson with that movie way back when, and now with whatever they're working on, I think they're putting a lot more creative control. What we've heard about the Mario movie, Shigeru Miyamoto is really closely tied to how they're working on the script and the story. Now, it's not for sure going to happen yet. It kind of depends on if they can come together and find a really good plan for this movie. But Shigeru Miyamoto, the creator of Mario, is working incredibly close with these guys. I would say even closer than George R.R. Martin is working with the Game of Thrones guys, for example. So I have faith that that's going to work out really well. And I realize it's technically a little different, but Detective Pikachu, you know, Nintendo has stake in that, right? It's looking like it might be the greatest video game adaptation ever. And like there was the one trailer that came out like a week ago where it shows like all the Pokemon being all a little cute. I forget the song is playing, but it really kind of like hits you in the feels, and you see like the Charmander's running and the squirrels coming out of the water and the Bulbasaurs with the cute little eyes. And you see Pikachu talking to, I forget the name of the character, but he's like crying, talking about, oh, if your dad was here, he would hug you so hard your bones would pop. That trailer, I was already sold, but that trailer made me think, damn, this is going to be like legitimately like maybe the best video game adaptation ever. Which isn't saying much, by the way, but it looks like the Detective Pikachu movie, it's cute, right? It's cute, but there's so much detail in the way how all Pokemon are animated. There's a lot of detail from the Pokemon world. You can tell that the people who made this movie actually care about Pokemon, know about Pokemon. And when you look at the Sonic movie, no, that's not how it looks at all, right? So I'm glad at least that they're going to be reworking the design for the Sonic thing, but it looks like the writing is bad. I don't really like some of the actor choices. The only thing that I think is kind of good is Jim Carrey. I think he's an amazing actor. I think he really could put an interesting spin on Dr. Robotnik, and I love that at the very final frame, they did show him with his more classic design rather than what they had in the beginning. So it looks like it's going to be kind of like an origin story, so that's really cool. And I do think some of Sonic's moves are really cool, like the spin dash when he broke the car, I thought looked cool. Everything else looked really awkward to me, and the teeth terrify me. So I'm glad to hear that they're going to change that design. I don't know if that's going to be enough to make the movie good, but, you know, it's probably going to be one of those it's so bad it's good kind of things where people are going to watch it because it's Sonic, but it's not going to really be a great movie. Nah, I doubt it. Yeah. Joshua, how do I have guests join the podcast? Well, I try to do, at this point, you know, because I'm striving for professionalism, I try to only bring on people who have other YouTube channels or are related to the video game industry, and they, you know, work consistently on their channels and their media. So, you know, I bring on people who work, right? Like who work on the gaming industry, right? Whether, even if you're not getting paid for it, if you're like diligent and you're being professional about it, and I establish a good relationship with you and I can trust you, then I may have you on, right? That's kind of how it goes, you know? But to tell you the truth, I've had some bad experiences in the past bringing some people on the podcast, some people who I was too quick to kind of have them on, and it didn't go really well relationship wise. They said some really nasty things. I'm not gonna get into, I guess, I mean I could, but it wasn't good. it wasn't good, and I learned a lesson. I learned that, hey, whoever I have on, I need to make sure I know them, right? Because I don't want anyone to come on and ruin the podcast, right? Because you guys are watching. I want this to be enjoyable. I want to be real with you guys. I'm, of course, always going to be real. But, you know, sometimes there are people that come on that... There's two people it's happened with. And I learned my lesson. They didn't like me. They didn't like me beforehand. I didn't know that. That was the thing that was really weird. So I have to be more careful about those things. But basically, you know, I strive for professionalism, but that doesn't mean there isn't like a freedom to the discussions, right? It doesn't mean you can't like curse occasionally or kind of go off on a tangent. It just means, you know, keep it reasonable, right? But basically, that's kind of the benchmarks that I have for having a guest on the podcast. Basically, you have to be a Nintendo YouTuber. You know, like a legitimate, like, consistent one. Yeah, Sabbath, I agree. I think Jim Carrey is going to be a great Dr. Eggman. Oh, Sabbath, am I planning on watching Detective Pikachu opening night? Yeah. I want to watch it really badly. I may not watch it opening night depending on the scheduling of things. I need to find people to watch it with. Actually, I don't really have anyone who wants to watch it with me. I don't have any friends that like Pokemon that much that want to watch it nearby. So I'm going to have to figure that out. I don't want to wait till it comes out, like, digitally. I want to watch it in the theaters. I would love to watch it opening night, but it really kind of depends on if I can find anyone to watch it with. So we'll see how that works out. But I'm definitely going to watch it as soon as I can. Because I'm really excited about it. I think it looks amazing. Like I said earlier, the characters just look so charming. There's so much attention to detail. And it just seems like it's very thoughtful and classy with its design and story. And I'm really interested in it. It's going to be a good movie. Actually, that's what we've heard. People have already seen, like, some people have already seen it and they're saying it's good. So I'm not concerned about it. I think it's going to be great. Brandon the Stallion, hey. Yeah, I'm not necessarily a big fan of pre-ordering games. That doesn't mean I never do it, but, you know, in this day and age, it's just not as needed. But I'll just continue reading your question. So you're asking, do you plan on getting Super Mario Maker 2 when it comes out on June 28th? There is one thing I should tell you. If you do pre-order it, you get a stylus. Actually, that's a good point, because the stylus, maybe I should pre-order it. That's a pre-order bonus. So for things like that, I will definitely consider pre-ordering something. So I probably should consider pre-ordering Mario Maker 2. It is a game that I might prefer to have digitally, personally, because it's something that I might jump in and out of and do like in like small segments. Like it's the long adventure games like Zelda and Mario that I want to like buy the actual retail thing, but I know it's going to be a big adventurous story for me to enjoy, and I'll always remember it. I want to have that. And also because it's like a long play session, I'm going to always want to have that on until I beat the game, and then I'll put it away and only occasionally will I go back to it. But when it comes to games like Smash Bros. And Mario Kart or Mario Maker, those are things that, like, for the record, I have Mario Maker retail. But, like, those are things I can kind of jump in and out of, and I'd like to have it all in one place rather than having to go back and switch out all the cartridges. So I would prefer to have Mario Maker 2 digitally, but that pre-order bonus is interesting, so I probably should consider that. Sabbath, you're asking, do I think any of the Sonic characters will show up in the movie besides Sonic? I don't know. It's, I don't know. I wish I could say. What I did notice is that their rings are being used to be sort of like warps to different like parallel universes, it seems. And if it's possible that we may actually go into Sonic's original world. Like, if you look at the final frame for Dr. Eggman, he's, like, in a desert with, like, a whole bunch of giant mushrooms. So I wonder if, like, that's him going through into the Sonic world. But at the same time, it's, like, I think I heard, like, the real world still has the names of the Sonic world, so it's kind of confusing how that works out. But Sonic in the movie is talking about as if it's not his own world, so it does seem like he is coming from another world. Some people are talking about him being an alien. He's not an alien. I think it's obvious that he's coming from a parallel universe because of the rings. So, I mean, I guess it is technically an alien, just not an alien from, like, Mars or Venus or outer space. I think it's, like, a different parallel universe, right? So, could we see other characters? If we do visit the other realm, the Sonic realm, right, maybe we'll get a catch of of Tails or Knuckles. I think there will at least be a reference. I don't know if they'll have their own dedicated character. I mean, there's barely any Sonic references from the trailer. I'm not expecting it, but maybe we'll at least get a reference. So let's see where we are right now. Super Chris. Okay, you're saying, I see why you only select certain people to be on the podcast. Yeah, like I said, man, I just try to be really careful about it. Sabbath. I'm surprised third-party companies haven't made a status for the Switch yet. That's a good question. I don't know. I haven't even looked into it. But I definitely want the Mario Maker one. Josh, you're asking, do I ever voice chat with people on Discord or Google Hangouts? Not really. Like, besides the podcast, I don't. It's happened, but it's rare. It's rare. It's not doesn't mean I wouldn't. It just don't. I don't, right? Like, I just don't. But, you know, I'm not opposed to it necessarily. If I have the time for a discussion, someone wants to talk to me, I'm down. Solo Jones. So you're asking, given we've seen some unexpected Nintendo franchises announced for Switch Revival, Luigi's Mansion, Metroid Prime, what other dormant series do you anticipate for a return? Okay, let me kind of just internalize that. We've seen some unexpected Nintendo franchises announced for a Switch Revival. Okay, alright, so, good question. Let's see, so, yeah, we are getting Luigi's Mansion, Metroid Prime. What else do I kind of think we could see come back that hasn't been used in a while? F-Zero. I think by the end of the Switch life cycle, we will see either an F-Zero or a Wave Race game, maybe both. I am kind of hoping, I'm expecting it. I'm not expecting it this year or even maybe next year, but I do think we'll see at least one of each, or at least one of those two by the end of the Switch generation. I would love to see another Kid Icarus. Maybe we'll see that now that Masahiro Sakurai is done with Smash Ultimate. Maybe he'll go back to Kid Icarus. I'd love to see another Kid Icarus game, so I don't think that's out of the question necessarily. Another good point to consider would be that Retro Studios probably has something else in the works. I said this before, but just for those who haven't heard, right? We know Retro Studios has started developing Metroid Prime 4 now. Why didn't they start it beforehand? I think it's reasonable to think that Nintendo didn't want to give it to them because they were probably busy with something else, and maybe they didn't showcase that they had the ability to make Metroid Prime 4 in the way they wanted it. But now, we've heard from Imran Khan, an executive editor from Game Informer, who has legitimate inside sources, right, that Retro Studios had a demo that showed off Nintendo, and Nintendo then canceled development with their current team and switched it over to Retro Studios. What that suggests is, one, they had a demo that was kind of impressive, that Nintendo's like, hey, this is way better than what we have going now, so let's switch over to Retro Studios. But also, Retro Studios developed that demo for the game, suggesting that they were already done with whatever they were working on. They had time to work on Metroid Prime 4, and I doubt Nintendo would give Metroid Prime 4 over to Retro Studios if it's been 5 years since they've been able to come out with a AAA game. So, within 5 years, I think it's reasonable to think they at least came up with one. I think it's done. I think that's what the whole Reggie tease is related to. So, going back to my point, though, about in terms of revivals, Retro Studios revived the Metroid Prime series, right? They also revived the Donkey Kong Country series. Maybe they're reviving something else. I don't know what that Metal Hand would be for, but, you know, maybe that Star Fox Grand Prix thing is real. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure about that anymore. I was never 100%, but I'm not super confident in it is what I really mean. I could see Retro Studios bringing back another old Nintendo franchise. What is it? I have no idea. I feel like it's more likely a new IP, but I'm just saying that's also a possibility. They might bring something back. But I am hoping, going back to your question, that we could see F-Zero or Wave Race by the end of the Switch generation. So let's see. Brandon Stallion. Plus, once Super Mario Maker 2 comes out, I think it'll be practically impossible to find. Because think about it. 2D Mario sells, so just imagine how crazy sales for Super Mario Maker 2 are. Yeah, Mario Maker 2 is going to be way better, I think. It better be. Mastermind, hello, how you doing? Josh, you're asking, do I work every day? Sorta? So, like, right now, I don't work a 9-to-5 job. What I'm doing is I do stuff on YouTube, and I'm working Lyft and Uber. I am thinking about getting a video editing job. I've been thinking about doing it for like a year. Really what I want is to be a full-time YouTuber, but we know that that's not easy to accomplish. I want to accomplish it. I don't think I've been doing a good job of getting there, so hopefully, you know, starting from this kind of stream, I'm hoping to do a bit of a restart on just restart to kind of make a stronger push towards getting there. I have some ideas. And I'll get more into that later into the stream if we have time. But basically, you know, between doing stuff on YouTube and kind of driving whenever I have time, I do find myself doing some sort of work almost every day. But there are days where I do kind of take it easy and I take a break. But there's not like a set schedule. It just kind of always like changing it around depending on the situation. So I don't actually work every day, but there are days where I work at least a little bit every day. So I'm usually doing something. Sabbath, you're saying, Andres, E3 is next month. What are you hoping to see the most from Nintendo this year? Oh, I really want to see Banjo-Kazooie as DLC for Smash Ultimate. I would love to see Rare Replay. The Master Chief Collection is really cool. I'm really hoping for Metro Prime Trilogy HD. But those are all, like, remake reports, right? I'm really looking forward to Pokemon Sword and Shield. I'm really looking forward to that. That might be my game of the year, personally. Astral Chain and Link's Awakening also seem really cool to me. I'm really excited about those. Luigi's Mansion 3 as well. But I guess of the one thing that I'm really that's kind of like in my headspace right now that I'm wondering about anticipating is that Retro Studios game. If that's coming out this year, oh my god! But I don't need it to come out this year because there's so much games coming out already. I just want to see it. I just want to see it. I want to be able to talk about it, speculate about it, analyze it, make tons of videos about it. I want to know what it is, and hopefully we finally get to see what it is. I'm really curious about it. New IP, I don't know. At this point, that's the game that's kind of whatever. I don't know what it is, but I'm saying, I just kind of hope that it's really awesome, which it probably will be, and I'm really curious about learning about it, and hopefully we learn about it this E3. So Mike Rapp, you're asking, have you heard about the Etiquette Situation? If you do, what's your opinion? Okay, so I'll give you my opinion on the Etiquette Situation. So I'll be real with you. I'm a fan of Etiquette, right? Like, I'm not like a diehard fan that's watching all of the streams, but you know, I subscribe to Etiquette, or I was subscribed. His channels have been deleted twice already. And you know, I watch some of his videos, some of his streams. I think they're funny. I think he had I thought he had a great sense of humor. I know he's kind of edgy, but I'm okay with that. I'm not a sensitive person to those things. I think it's fine. I thought he was a cool dude, and honestly, I wanted to meet him. I wanted to meet him and befriend him. You know, he lives in Brooklyn. Like, I thought maybe we could meet someday, and you know, he seemed like one of those cool Nintendo YouTubers that I would like to befriend. We're similar age range. I thought we would. You know, I thought like we could become friends at some point if I like continue to succeed and meet him at some sort of convention or something. You know, I kind of would have loved that because I think he's a really cool dude. But lately he's been getting bad, right? I mean, we saw what happened with his first YouTube channel. He's been getting edgier and edgier, right? It seems like he's kind of lost a passion for what he does. That's what it seems like. I'm not saying I don't know, right? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not even his friend. I've never met him before. But he's obviously been getting worse and worse. I do think it is some sort of mental disorder. I don't know. I'm not going to diagnose that. And I'll actually go on a tangent on that, and I'll get back to Etiquette. So, alright guys, I'm going to get real with you right now. So, get ready. You guys ready? Alright, here we go. So, my biological mother, who is not a part of my life, right? I did not really grow up with a mom. I had her in my first few years, and I remember her, and I didn't live with her. Like, my parents got divorced when I was in second grade, and she has several mental disorders, and she has a criminal record, and she's gone in and out of jail, out of mental institutions. There was some level of shared custody, and there were many different dangerous episodes that I went through as a kid growing up. A lot of traumatic events, a lot of life-threatening situations that I went through because of her issues. A lot of it was because of her sickness, her mental disorders, that the doctors took years to really get a good grip on. We know that she has a form of schizophrenia, and it's, for the record, schizophrenia isn't like, I have to double check, but I think it's like 1 in 100 people can get schizophrenia, which isn't that rare. But what my mother had, it wasn't just like a subtle form of schizophrenia. It was like textbook delusional, crazy kind of. I don't want to say crazy, but like, yeah, like it was really bad. Like, she, at one point, this is like happening while I was in college, so there was things happening all throughout my life. But in college, which wasn't that long ago, she was staying at my grandparents' house, and she wanted to kill them. So she set the house on fire while they were asleep. No one died. She left. She fled the scene of the crime. My grandparents woke up in the fire. Grandma got out. My grandpa tried to save the house, and he burned all his limbs, so he had to get skin grafts. He had to be helicoptered out to a hospital. My mother admitted to the crime, wanting to murder them. So she's taken to jail, but obviously she's insane. So she's been in a mental rehabilitation center for like 4 or 5 years since the event. And that was dark. And that's just an example of some of the things that happened, right? So just to give you perspective, right? Like, this is close to home for me when it comes to mental illness. That's why I shared that story. I get it, right? And I've had people who have accused me before of being mentally sick, right? Because I'm eccentric. I'm not crazy. I think it's clear that I don't actually have a disorder, but I'm an eccentric person. There have been times people have accused me of having, and that really bothers me, because they were just saying that because I had some signs and they knew about my family history, because some friends who aren't really friends anymore kind of backstabbed me, started spreading weird rumors, right, back in college. So I've suffered from people trying to diagnose me just because I was going through a rough patch, right? So, I'm not going to be quick to judge Etiquette, but at the same time, I do know when I see someone that's sick, right? But I think he's sick. I think he's doing so much disastrous stuff to his channels. He deleted both his channels. That's crazy. And he's saying all this ridiculous stuff, and he's saying a lot of stuff that's very edgy and not considerate to his fan base at all. And he's going back and forth. He's obviously it's an emotional swing. And, I think it's unhealthy. I unfollowed him on Twitter. I think it's toxic. I don't think it's good for people to really take part in that. But at the same time, I think he's sick. I don't think, he's in the right headspace, and I hope he can somehow find a way to get healthy and get stable. That it's unfortunate. But sometimes when people are famous, you see stars go out, right? That happens a lot. We occasionally, right, we hear about stars committing suicide, right? Like Heath Ledger, for example. Like, it happens. Fame can affect you. We've seen that before. So, I hope the best for him. I hope that he realizes his wrongs. I hope he rectifies things and comes back someday, hopefully, or not. Maybe it's just not right for him, but hopefully at least he learns to get stable, be healthy, and live a decent life afterwards. I have my phone here, but it's just ringing because I have other questions on there. So yeah, I hope the best for him, but it is what it is. He's probably done for now. So where were we with the questions? Oh yeah, Josh Sheriff. Etiquette did a lot of crazy stuff. He got into a fight with a cop, apparently. He doxed himself. He went to a mental rehabilitation center and showed a paper form that included his address to thousands and thousands of people. And it's weird, but if you really want to see it, just go to his Twitter. Go to his Twitter, look up Etiquette Twitter, and you'll see all of it, really. Yeah. Whooper. Animal Crossing are right. Animal Crossing's happening. Don't worry, guys. Animal Crossing is going to get a gameplay reveal at E3. I've talked about it before. Nintendo has reconfirmed that Animal Crossing is coming out in 2019. We got nothing to worry about. Animal Crossing Switch is coming out this year, and we're going to see it at E3. That's happening. Book it. Book it. 99.99% sure I am. Don't worry about it. It's happening. Historically speaking, we get the gameplay reveals for Animal Crossing at E3. Just go back and look. Every single Animal Crossing reveal at E3. This year's going to be no different. It's been reconfirmed to be coming out this year. Recently, as of the previous investors meeting just a week or so ago. So don't worry. Animal Crossing is happening, guys. We're going to see it soon. We got like 38 days or something like that by the time we get to see it. Josh, you're asking, do I watch television besides playing video games? Yeah, I watch television. Now, when I say watch television, I don't really watch cable. I watch basketball. I watch a lot of NBA. I'm paying attention to playoffs. Basketball is my favorite, professional sport. I love watching it. I love playing it. Besides that, I rarely watch, cable television, but I do use my streaming apps. I do use Crunchyroll and VRV and Netflix. I watch a lot of anime. I'm a big movie buff too, right? I care about quality stories and writing, which is why I'm excited about Detective Pikachu and not about the Sonic movie, right? I'm super into Game of Thrones. I'm watching so many theory videos on that right now. I'm actually really upset about episode 3, but I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone. But basically, I think they kind of ruined a story arc, but hopefully maybe there's some surprises that fix that. We'll see. But yeah, I'm I love watching stuff for sure. It's another art form that I really enjoy. I mean, I studied acting. I wanted to be in movies. I've changed my direction to kind of want to focus on YouTube, but you know, occasionally I like to do the little skits of Charmander. It's very settled, not a lot, but I would like to eventually get back to maybe doing some short films on the channel, but that requires time and money, which I don't have too much of at this point, but hopefully I can get back to doing some short films on the channel. That'd be really cool. Brandon Stallion, hey August, I have 2 years of Switch Online. My membership ends January 2021. Do you think that by the time the membership is almost over, there could be SNES, N64, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy DS, and possibly GameCube games on Switch Online? You know, I don't think you're going to get all of that with just the payment that you put to the online membership. That's just me being honest. I hope so. I could see Super Nintendo games coming, maybe Game Boy or Game Boy Color games. I don't expect those others to come as a part of the base price. Maybe eventually they add those games and there's like a higher tier that you can buy into, so then you could have it. But with what you've paid already, I don't expect anything else besides NES games, maybe Super Nintendo, and maybe like Game Boy Color. That's what I'm kind of thinking, but you know, maybe. And I do have a hope that we will get those other kind of games, those N64, DS, and GameCube games on the Switch at some point, but I don't think they're going to come in terms of the online membership, just pay $5 a month or something and have all of it. Or $20 a year. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work exactly like that. Super Chris, being edgy doesn't make you look cool. I kind of agree. I think being cool is just kind of like, you gotta be yourself and not really worry about it. That's really it. Also, not a fan of hurting others, so there's that. So, you know, if you're going to be yourself, cool, but don't, you know, don't be a dick to other people either. NAK, hello. How long have you and Bandana Charmander have spent time together? Oh, good question. Actually, I saw it on the second community post. I didn't get a chance to heart it. I am going to get to all the questions for the community. But in fact, I'll do that, and then I'll get back to the stream chat now to get to those questions. So, NAK, how long have Bandana and Charmander have been together? How much time we spent together? Well, he lives in my room. Sometimes I put him away. I started working with Bandana Charmander. I'm trying to remember. It's been over a year at this point, I think. I remember roughly when it started happening. It was over a year. It's been over a year. It was when Will used to be part of the podcast. I started planning it around the time he left. That I started using Charmander in my videos. So it's been, I would say, about a year and a half. Let's say about a year. About a year, maybe a little bit, a couple more months than that. Yeah. We got a fair bit of questions, guys. I really appreciate it. We got a lot to go into. Yeah, Chris, my mother was arrested when that happened. Yeah, I mean, you know, I talk about these things because I'm willing to be open. You know, just an example. For anyone who thinks that I'm not willing to be open, I hope that's evidence that I am very willing to be open about things. Whooper, I'm glad that you think that was all really well said. Sabbath. Yeah, at this point, I think Etiquette should stay away from YouTube and social media for good. Yeah. It might even be kind of like an addiction, right? And if you're an alcoholic, you should never have alcohol so if it is something of that nature, I would agree. Which is unfortunate, because I think he was a great internet personality. But hopefully, you know, there's a way it works out, but what's most important is his health. Yeah, he's completely different now, Chris, for sure. Sabbath, was at this point there was no April Nintendo Direct? Yes, I was disappointed, but hey, that doesn't mean the announcements aren't coming. That just means that they're coming in a way I didn't expect. Whooper, you took a day off last year for E3? Or you mean for this year? Yeah, no, I'm gonna definitely, that day is gonna be 100% dedicated to Nintendo. I'll be making videos for the channel and watching everything I possibly can. That's what I'm gonna be doing. It's gonna be like a holiday for me, or a work day. But for me, I love doing this work, which is why I wanted to make it my job, because I love talking about Nintendo, making videos, researching, doing all these different things. I mentioned that I was working on a Zelda video. I didn't come out with it last weekend. I recorded it last night, finally. I've been doing some research on it, and hopefully I can put it together and have it come out tomorrow. And I just love talking about it. This Zelda video is basically the difference between Ganon and Ganondorf. I noticed there isn't really too many good videos on that, so I kind of went into detail on that. And even though it's not a news video, I just love going to the history and lore of Nintendo and talking about the different things, the theories, the history. I love all of it. So, you know, I always enjoy doing this stuff. It's always fun to me. I did say I was going to get to some of the questions that people asked me from before, so let's get into that. So let's first ask the one that Sean asked me on Twitter, and then I'll get to some of the community post questions. Alright, so Sean from Mall64, this is what you asked. Alright, so you asked me, in case I don't make it to the stream, my question is, what is your favorite moment of being on YouTube? What are you most proud of? What would you say is your least favorite memory? Okay, so the least favorite memory is when I had those issues with those other podcast members at a time where they were hating on me. They hated me beforehand, and they were spreading a lot of nonsense, and it was very toxic, and I had to get away from that. So that was my least favorite moment. It made it really hard. Like, I felt really uncomfortable even talking around them, and it happened live and stuff. It was really hard, which is why, like I said, I'm really careful about podcast members now. What am I most proud of? I realize I'm doing this like in reverse, but what am I most proud of when it comes to my YouTube channel? So, full disclaimer, I am proud. I'm not gonna say I'm not, but I try to hold myself to a high standard, and unlike most people who, when they have a YouTube channel, they go in saying, oh, I didn't go in expecting to make any money or get a large audience. No, that's not me. I'm the exact opposite. I went to YouTube thinking, yeah, I'm going to start talking about Nintendo, I'm going to love doing it, and it's going to work out really well, and it's going to help out me. At the time, I wasn't thinking about making it full-time, but I was thinking I could at least make it, like, a pillar for me. That's what I was thinking, like something that could help support me with my other adventures and things I would do. Like, for example, I was trying to do auditions and stuff. I was hoping it was going to help to support my auditioning. That's how confident I was when I first got into YouTube 3 years ago. And I was sorely mistaken. I was very sorely mistaken. I would say that the level I am at now is where I thought I would be in about 6 months. Like, yeah. So, you know, just for perspective, right? And I really want to make this work, because I think this is my calling. I really enjoy doing this. And, you know, there have been people, some of you guys in the chat, who have told me that, you know, you enjoy my videos, that I make your days a little bit better, and that's I think that's really important, right? So, and this is getting to the whole, I do have an endpoint here. So, I think what I'm most proud of is that I'm doing something that I love, and there are people who are loving me doing what I love. So, I'm trying to find a way where I can make this my life, where I can do something I love and feel passionate about and be real and do as great of a job as I can with it. And there are going to be people who really enjoy that, and I can make their days a little bit better, help them teach them something a little bit as well. Like, if I can do that, that's amazing. I am helping out people, right? So if I put out a video, 1,000 people watch it, and maybe half of them like it a little bit, right? Like, that's incredible. That means I got 500. I made 500 people's days a little bit better, a little bit more interesting. That's amazing, right? So I guess for me, as I continue to work on the channel and get better at it, and I get better at, I guess, entertaining people and educating people about different things related to Nintendo, the bigger it gets, the more impactful it is to other people out there, and the more I help people in my own special way, right? That is something I can be proud of, because I'm kind of, you know, I'm impacting the world, and I feel like I'm making it a better place in my own way. That's something I'm proud of. That's something, you know, I think I still have a lot of work to do. I still have a lot of growth to do in, but I do think I've done it a little bit. I mean, you guys are watching. I mean, if you guys hated it, you would have left already, right? So, you know, I'm proud of that I've been able to at least entertain you guys a little bit, and that's awesome to me. So, yeah. But in terms of my favorite moment, Sean, I don't know if you're watching right now, but whenever you see this, my favorite moment on YouTube, I can't think of one particular one, because I've had a lot of really good moments. It makes me happy just talking about Nintendo, making videos, I enjoy this. I really do. Sometimes I get anxiety about different stuff, but, you know, when I actually get into the thick of things and I do something, I really enjoy it. Like, I was planning and thinking about doing the Zelda video that you'll hopefully see tomorrow for like a while, but I couldn't get around to actually recording it. But when I finally got to recording it yesterday and I went to like clip the audio together, I haven't been able to make a video in like almost a week. I felt like, oh my god, what has it been so long since I've done this? I've enjoyed this so much. Like, I love it. I love putting it together, seeing it, analyzing it, like figuring out the information I studied to make sure it's correct. Like, I enjoy all of that. Like, it makes me happy. And that was just one little moment I had like putting this video together late last night. I have all those moments all the time whenever I make a video, right? But I guess one cool moment that I'll bring up that comes to mind, it's not necessarily my favorite because I've had a lot of amazing moments, but one that comes to mind was my birthday that happened October 29th, guys. October 29th is my birthday. So last October 29th, a couple days before the Smash Direct, we had a podcast. Granted, we were talking about the Grinch League and we were wrong up a whole bunch of stuff, but nevertheless, we had a podcast on my birthday, and it was the most viewed podcast I had ever done on my birthday. That was crazy. I was having the most growth I ever had because of Smash ever during that time. And the podcast had like over like 80 plus viewers at the concurrently, right? So like for now, we have 17 watching right now. There were 80 plus. I think some of my friends even mentioned 90 plus watching at that time, and that was crazy to me. And the fact that it happened on my birthday, and I had Ray was there, Sean, your question, you were there as well, and Brandon was there, and like, I love you guys were all there with me on my birthday. Over 90 people were watching at one point the Smash podcast. I thought that was crazy. I wasn't used to that much. I think you guys weren't that used to it either. I feel like you guys were a little nervous as well. But it was a really cool little moment to have like the most viewed podcast ever on my birthday. I thought that was a neat little coincidence. You know, I don't want to get religious on you guys, but I feel like when there's moments like that are really interesting coincidences, I think, man, you know, it makes me think that I'm doing the right thing. You know what I mean? So it was just a really cool little moment. But just, there you go, cool little moment. I don't know if that's my favorite moment because there's so many good ones, but that was a really cool moment for me. All right, so let's get to the stream chat because I want to keep up with this, and then I will get to the other questions on the community. I know I said I would get to them, but there's you guys keep asking me stuff, which I love, but I you know, I'm gonna try and get to all of it. So where are we? Chris, do I still have the Miami Heat jersey? Yeah, of course I have the Miami Heat jersey. It's somewhere in my closet. You know, Dwayne Wade, my favorite player. Grew up watching him. He retired this year. It was emotional, but you know, I appreciated it. I appreciated it, and I thought it was great. Jugs McGee, what's up, man? Computer Robots. Andres Restart's Final Smash can be similar to Donkey Kong's new Final Smash. Is it the where he just like goes all out? Yeah, that would be me. I would Ora, that's a JoJo reference, out of someone for sure if I had to in Smash. NAK, how long have you spent time together? I think I asked this earlier, right? I asked this earlier. Maybe you didn't hear me, but we've in terms of spent, I've had Bandit and Charmander and been doing stuff with him on my channel for over a year. I don't remember the exact timing, but it's been over a year. Mastermind, do you think we might get a Pokemon Direct this month or have an E3 Direct? Oh, I see you retracted the message. Okay. Mastermind, do you think we might get a Pokemon Direct this month or have an E3 Direct and add a 30-minute announcement like Smash? I think we're gonna get Pokemon news before E3. That kind of happens like every year. Pokemon Company likes to have their own Pokemon announcements separate from Nintendo's announcements. Pokemon Sword and Shield will be at Nintendo's Treehouse. It will be mentioned during their E3 presentation. I believe that, but we will get a lot of new information, like in terms of like a direct or trailer form, a week or two before Nintendo's E3. So I guess at the end of this month, don't be shocked if we get some Pokemon Sword and Shield announcements. And they did say that there would be, you know, they did say there was more Pokemon announcements, more Pokemon games to announce for this year. So there's going to be other things. There probably will be there may be another Pokemon Direct in May. That wouldn't shock me. I don't know if it'll be a Direct. Nintendo seems to have kind of changed their dynamic a little bit with Directs. They don't do them as much anymore, right? As we're learning, they kind of learned to just drop trailers on Twitter instead. So, you know, that's Nintendo, not Pokemon Company, so there may be a minor difference there. But I expect Pokemon news of some kind related to Pokemon Sword and Shield and other Pokemon games before E3. So within a week or two of E3, so I guess we're about 3 weeks away from Pokemon news, maybe. Yes, Josh, I still live in my small room. Brandstyle, you'd be really mad if they made a higher tier Switch Online with the newer Nintendo consoles, because you don't know if you'd be able to have the normal online and the better online at the same time. I think we just upgrade it. I see what you're saying, in terms of just increasing it. Well, like I said, I don't know what they would do. I just don't think that they will add that much more additional content to what they already have. I really love how they have Tetris 99 for the online servers. I hope they add more games like that, more free-to-play games like that. That'd be really cool. Tetris 99 is a really good move in that direction. I want to see more of that, so hopefully we get some more stuff like that at E3. That'd be really cool to see. Sinus Joe, hello! Nintendo will host directs when they're good and ready. Whenever they want to. That's true. I expected an amazing E3 as well, Sinus Joe. We are only a little bit over a month away, guys. Jugs McGee, you had a relative that had the same mental breakdown as Etika. It took him a while for us to convince him that he's not okay, and it's alright to get yourself checked. Also, May is Mental Health Month. That is an interesting coincidence, actually. Yeah, you know, everyone can get sick. You shouldn't... You just gotta be willing to, you know, understand yourself and make yourself right. Sab, haters gonna hate, indeed. Geodrox, Agumon for Smash, that'd be cool to see. I believe Mars is doing fine, man. Yeah, I should get him back on the podcast. It'd be great to see him. Sabbath, you watch my videos right away? Thank you. Thank you for being a part of the notification squad. I really appreciate you, man. Am I still interested in Labo VR? I still haven't bought it. I am interested. I want to buy it. I just don't have the money right now. I'm going to get it soon. Have a good night, Josh. NAK, would you rather consider the second DLC character to be announced at E3 or a direct before? I think the second DLC character is going to be announced at E3. I don't expect before it. Although we are recently hearing that Vergaman saying for sure Erdrick is the next DLC character. We'll see. I'm kind of expecting Banjo, but you know, that we'll see what happens. But I don't expect any Smash DLC announcements until E3. Alright, so now let's get to the questions on the community tab. Alright, let's see if we got any other ones. Alright, so we got 9 questions here. I'm gonna get to them. Alright, Nanika, you asked me this question yourself. How would you react if Mike Jones from Star Tropics became DLC in Smash? That'd be crazy, man. I hope that would also mean we get Star Tropics Revival. I'd love that. Oompa Mayo Moyo. What are your expectations for the new Animal Crossing? My expectations for the new Animal Crossing. So, full disclaimer, guys. I'm not the biggest Animal Crossing fan. Now, that doesn't mean I don't like Animal Crossing. I had Animal Crossing on Nintendo DS. I played it on the GameCube. I think it's cool. You know, I'm into it. I'm probably going to get it for Switch, but I'm just saying I didn't play, like, the crap out of the 3DS one, you know, just so you know. But I expect the game to be in HD. I expect it to look better than Amiibo Festival. I don't know by how much, but it's going to look better than Amiibo Festival. I think they will expand upon the online features more so because it's a Switch in the more modern era of Nintendo. And I do think Isabelle's going to be back, right? I think the whole mayor thing, if they don't do that, they're going to do something along those lines and expand upon it. And it's just going to be a deeper, richer Animal Crossing experience, more so than the one on 3DS. That's pretty much all I expect from it. Keep in mind, I didn't play that much of the 3DS one, so I can't really give you too much, like, really fine details about it, but yeah, that's pretty much what I expect. So let me see. Vilbeard, alright. Vilbeard, have you ever dreamed about making a game? If so, tell us a bit. If not, what would be a game designed specifically for Anj? Thank you for the happy wishes, Vilbeard. So, have I ever... Yeah, I have thought about dreaming about making games. In fact, I had this recurring dream in my head of a game that basically, it's kind of like... Imagine... It's something that I could see... Like, imagine if, like, Platinum Games and Zelda and Sonic... If Platinum Games were to work with the Zelda team and the best of the Sega team together. Right, so it's basically like a huge open world medieval fantasy adventure, but it's very fast paced, right? You move around very quickly, and there's a lot of action elements, but there's also platforming. So imagine being able to move really quick, and in, like, for example, imagine the fields in Breath of the Wild, but being able to move at the speeds of like Sonic, but also being able to fight and have the action-like elements like in Bayonetta or Devil May Cry, things of that nature, and the characters would each be based off of different elements. So you start off as either wind, earth, fire, or water. But it's like a circle or a hexagon or something, right? So like you can train and you gain different like wind abilities, and the wind abilities aren't just attacks, right? Like they also add to platforming that can allow you to get to higher heights, right? If you have fire, you can burn things down. If you have earth, you can move around the ground. If water, you can hydrate things and use that to, create pathways with your water. But then if, for example, between water and earth, there'd be like a forest element. So if you start off as water, you can maybe transition a little bit more towards like foresty, right? Like in between earth, and have more forest abilities and grow like platforms and structures. That'd be really cool. Or if like for wind and fire, maybe like if you go closer towards, if you start off as wind but you want to veer a little bit in the direction of fire, your wind can cause explosions, right? Like that'd be really cool to see as well. And you can use those explosions to blow things up or just be an awesome attacker, right? So different things like that, using like the elements and kind of like being like an action speedy platformer in an open world fantasy environment with some puzzle elements. That's what I would like to see. That's kind of like my ideal game in my head. It would be something of epic massive proportions that would flow and feel really good, and it'd probably be really, really hard to pull off. But that's like a game that I've envisioned in my head, and that would be my ideal kind of game. A speedy action platformer with puzzle elements and a great fantasy story, which is a lot. And open world. Don't forget that. That's basically my answer to your question, Philbeard. But I've also thought about making other kinds of simpler games. I have thought about maybe learning about how to code. I have a book. I haven't really read much on it, so I don't know if I'll ever do it, but it'd be neat. Recessive Gamer. Personal question. What was the video game that got you into gaming? Okay. I guess it was Mario 64. Now, the thing is that I said my first video game memory is me watching or playing. I'm not 100% sure, but I was there next to my father, and he was definitely playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the Super Nintendo. That was my first video game memory. One of my first memories ever, right? But my first system that I played on that I remember playing on was Nintendo 64. The first game we had was Mario 64. So that was like the first game I played. But as a kid, I was always drawn to it, right? Like, so I wouldn't say there was like a one game that was like, oh my god, I love video games. I think every video game I saw, I was just like, oh, that looks really cool. I want to try it out, explore this beautiful world, right? That was always my mindset as a kid. Oh, look at all these different, amazing, beautiful worlds. I want to explore them. That's what every single one. I thought it was amazing. Like, I remember when my dad got me a Kiwi Game Boy Color and Pokemon Silver. That was such an incredible moment. I was in the room opening it up and just thinking, wow, I'm actually going to be able to play this. Like, this is going to be this incredible, magical experience, and I'm just going to have it. And I felt grateful. Like, I felt like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm going to be able to play this. Like, that's how excited I was. So, just to finish up the question, I guess Mario 64, but really it would have been anything because I was just excited and curious about all these different worlds I was seeing as a child. Then, but you have a second question. So, Nintendo question: what do you think is next for the Paper Mario franchise? Considering the last two games they used two screens for battle, and then Nintendo has changed a bit. Oh man. See, this is another thing where I'm not saying I don't like Paper Mario, but I'm not as big of a Paper Mario fan as others. I do think they should go back more towards the 1,000-Year Door style. That seems to be the most well-received Paper Mario game. I do think Nintendo has been more critical of their game development, and I think one of the reasons why the previous Paper Mario game on Wii U I think it was Color Splash, right, wasn't as big of a jump, gameplay-wise, was probably more to do with the fact that it was probably a rush job. I think a lot of games on Wii U were rush jobs, so they probably stuck to pretty much what they knew. But I think with the next Paper Mario, they will be more willing to sort of go back to the drawing board. So I'm not saying that means it's for sure going to be like 1,000-Year Door, but I think for the next Paper Mario game on Switch, it will be something that people like more than Color Splash and Sticker Star, which I don't know how great that will be, but I think it'll be pretty good. So that's really all I can say on it. I wish I could kind of get more into the nitty-gritty of the details, but I didn't play that much of the previous Paper Mario games. I mean, I played the older ones, but I haven't played the recent ones on Wii U or 3DS. Brandon from Mobile Nintendo asked me, what is your oldest gaming memory? I'm going to get back to the chat, guys. Don't worry. What is your oldest gaming memory, and what is your favorite gaming memory? Well, I just said my oldest gaming memory is with my dad playing Super Nintendo Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. My favorite gaming memory, man, that's crazy. There's so many of them. Like, I can't pick just one. I can't. I remember when I first got Ocarina of Time, seeing the horse running and hearing that music. That was just an epic, epic moment for me, and it will always resonate with my heart whenever I see that opening cutscene. Right. Also, speaking of opening intros, the Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii, that one with the sword on the hill, just listening to the music as the sky changes throughout the night and day cycle. That is such a beautiful opening intro. That and the Ocarina of Time intro are my favorite intros. Retro Studios one for Metroid Prime was also really good. But in terms of my favorite, like I said, I can't give you a specific favorite gaming memory, but I'll give you one that's interesting. So, I went to Penn State, right, guys? That's where I went to college, but they had a Pokemon club, and I was just getting into like competitive Pokemon play, like my senior year of high school. I was playing Pokemon Silver, not Pokemon Silver, Pokemon Heart, Pokemon Pearl and Diamond. Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver came out the next year when I went my first year in college. But in senior year, I started getting into competitive battling, learning more and more about it. And, after I left high school, I didn't have too many friends to play with. Like, there was a couple friends I had in high school. They weren't, like, close friends, but I played with them at school, right? And then, but once I was going away to college, I didn't have anyone to play with. I just practiced online for the most part. I played a couple online matches with my friends from high school. That was it. Most of my other friends I actually hung out with didn't play Pokemon like me. I was, like, the Pokemon kid. It's, like, kind of one of my quirks amongst my high school friends. But going into Penn State, my roommate, who was also one of my best friends from high school, he told me, hey, Andres, I saw this Pokemon Club flyer at the library. So I was like, what? Are you serious? I'm like, oh my god, I came to the perfect school, right? So I went, and it was one of the most amazing experiences ever. I had so many amazing memories with the club, and this is a video game memory because I'm playing a video game, but when I won the Penn State Pokemon Challenge for the first time, the end of my freshman year, I felt like it was like this huge like moment for me because I had started learning competitive battling like the year before, and I met all these really cool people who were older than me, more mature than me, and they were really good at Pokemon when I first got to them, but I caught up to them throughout the year, and I got good enough to win the Gym Leader Challenge in a really cool way because there were actually technically 3 people who got all the way through the Elite Four, so it got to the point where you all had to battle each other, and I ended up beating the both of them, who were both really cool dudes. And that was my first time winning, and I was a freshman in college, and it was a really, really cool moment for me. The way we, like, ran around campus, and then we had the Elite Four on these giant steps that had, like, 4 actual, like, levels, like the Elite Four. It felt like living out the Pokemon games in real life, and I actually played the game, and I did really well, and I had this awesome team with Dragonite. I called it Miraculum. Yeah, it was just a beautiful moment for me. It was arguably one of the greatest memories I had for that year, and it was really special. All right, so I'm gonna go to the chat. I'm gonna go back to the chat, and there's a couple more questions that I'll come back to on the community tab. But I'm going to get back to the chat because you guys have been asking me stuff. So let me see. I can imagine Banjo-Kazooie being the second, or Sora. You never know who's going to be, but I'm curious. Yeah, NK, I agree. Brand Stallion Roots, or a new Mario sports game like Mario Baseball. I really want a Mario Strikers Brand Stallion for sure. Geodrex, you're saying it had been revealed that soccer was already working on the 3rd DLC. How much chance do we have to get 2 DLCs announced at E3? I say 25%. I kind of agree with you. I think like 25% is a good percentage. Like I wouldn't bet on there being 2 DLC characters announced for Smash Brothers, but I don't think it's impossible. I think for sure at least 1. That's what I'm kind of expecting. Let me see where we are. Sabbath, you're asking, Andres, your dream game is Animal Crossing Homicide. Yes, my dream game is Animal Crossing Homicide. That's what I want. I want murder in Animal Crossing world. That's what I want. Would my dad spoil me? No, I don't think my dad spoiled me. My dad took really good care of me, right? Because, like, it was just my dad. I didn't have a mom. Eventually got a stepmom. When I say I didn't have a mom is alive. She exists, but she wasn't really in my life day to day. Like, we distanced ourselves from her, and she was usually just kind of like a source of trauma and disaster. But, you know, that's why my parents got separated, because he wanted to separate us from that, right? To kind of give us a healthier life. So my dad was really important to me. But my dad, you know, he definitely did a lot of really amazing things for me. You know, I remember one time I went to buy a Game Boy, and I had heard it was $10 or something. I thought it was gonna be the Game Boy Advance, but it was actually $50. I didn't have the money for it, and I got really sad. And my dad bought me a Game Boy Advance. He just did it, even though I was supposed to buy it with my own money. I kind of cried about it because I was a big baby. But you know, he just said, like, I do these things because I love you, right? Like, so just like hearing that, like my dad say, "Oh, I do these things because I love you," meant so much to me, like, because I really value my dad, right? Like, a lot. He's done so much for me. But I wouldn't say he spoils me, right? Because it's not like he would get me stuff all the time. Not if I asked for something, he probably would get it for me. But I tried not to ask that much. You know, and I mean, because at one point he was a single parent and he had a big house, like, well, big. It was pretty big. It was kind of a struggle being at a certain time when my parents separated, right? Like, he had to work, and you know, he's still moving up in the ranks in his job. And, you know, it was tough. He was really busy with work. We didn't see him that much. It was a tough time. So I didn't always, like, try to ask him for every little thing I wanted, right? But, you know, my dad has spoiled. When I think about it, my dad actually has spoiled me, actually, because, you know, things have gotten better over times, and we would go on a lot of vacations and go out to restaurants. He's always supported me. Like, I would say my dad spoils me now. So, you know, he's always helping me out. So yeah, my dad does spoil me, I guess, but I don't think he, like, spoils me to the point where I'm like a bad kid, right? So that's why I don't say he spoils me. I think he educated me well, and I think I'm well-rounded for the most part. I'm still working on things. I'm still growing, guys, but, you know, I think I'm decent as a person. I don't kill people, so I'm pretty good. Yeah. I would love another Mario RPG Mastermind, absolutely. NAK, you're adding Master. Okay, but you're saying Mike can have whip attacks with his yo-yo similar to Simon, and for one of his specials, his Dembo will use the Miracle Mirror to reflect projectiles in front of him, for example. That'd be interesting. I actually started playing it on the Nintendo Online service like a month ago. Screw you, Whooper. She's saying Pokemon clubs are for nerds. She's in the Pokemon club too. Sabbath. Hey Andres, do you speak other languages? Yeah, I speak Spanish. Yo hablo español. It's my second language. I grew up in Miami, Florida. My family is Cuban, although my dad's side is like American. But there are Spanish-speaking people all around me. My stepmom's Colombian. I've been to Colombia a few times. Like, there's Spanish all around me growing up. But I only knew how to say, like, 5 words for, like, most of my life. And I didn't really, I mean, I had a working language, you know, in my teens, but it wasn't really solid. And it wasn't until I went away to college in Pennsylvania, which doesn't have many Spanish-speaking people, that I learned Spanish in Spanish class. I kind of refused to learn Spanish growing up or surrounded by Spanish-speaking people. So I know how to speak Spanish. It's not perfect. It's kind of one of those things where, like, I have to kind of adjust myself mentally whenever I start doing it. But I can speak it, I can defend myself. You know, if I go to another country, I'll be fine. Like, that speak Spanish at least. I'll be fine. I think, just one more thing on the Spanish thing. The thing about me, though, is that I feel like there's a lot of things I like to express and talk about, and I can do so much more with English than I can with Spanish. So when I speak in Spanish, it frustrates me, because there's so many ideas that I have that I can't really say them in Spanish a lot of the time, not in the way I want to. So that kind of bothers me. And even now I would say that, like, I'm probably better at it now than I was when I was younger. But I mean, that's probably the thing that really bothered me about speaking other languages, is that there's so much I want to say that compared to English, I don't know how to say those things. So that's been kind of been a challenge for me. But, you know, I speak Spanish. Geojox, what do I think of the Sonic movie redesign announcement? We talked a little bit about it earlier, but I do want to see it improved, and they did say that it's happening. So I don't expect it to be like a big change. Like I think they'll probably rework the face a little bit, maybe the proportions a little bit, and it'll look a little bit better. That's all I expect, but that may be enough to get people to watch the movie. So I guess that should be appreciated. Adam, I have not seen Avengers Endgame. Do not spoil it. Do not spoil it. I'm gonna watch it this weekend. I'm waiting for my cousin to come over. I'm watching it with him. But I am very hyped for it. Absolutely. No, I never lived with my mom. Never lived with my mom. My dad fought tooth and nail to make sure we had custody as kids because she was dangerous. It was really hard, man. You know, especially then, like, people were a lot less open then than they are now. Like, a dad having custody of the kids is really unusual. It's still unusual now, but it was even more unusual then. It was really hard. He had to fight really hard. It was only because she had this criminal record and these mental issues that he was able to secure custody. But it wasn't easy. He spent a fair bit of money on lawyers and stuff to make it happen. Brandon Stelling, hey Andres, what if the new Animal Crossing allowed you to live in a metropolis and you could go to live in a hotel, apartment, mansion, or a kind of a big house? I would love that, actually. That sounds really awesome. That's a great idea. And a backyard or front yard and the ability to open up a shopping mall. I'd be really into that, actually. I hope that's a good idea, Brandon. I hope that happens. Yeah, speaking Spanish can be hard sometimes, Sabbath. But, you know, I appreciate being able to speak other language and communicate with people. So, speaking other language bridges that gap, which is important. So let's have some of the questions here finish up the questions here in the community tab. And we may be coming close to a close. Maybe we're about 10-15 minutes away from finishing up. We'll see. Kind of depends on the flow of things with the chat, but we're getting there. Jeremy Bins. Alright, so, hey Andres, with Microsoft and Nintendo having success with crossplay, do you think Breath of the Wild will be released on the Xbox? Need back my weekly podcast. Hope all is well. Also, where would you like to travel to, even if just for a weekend? And favorite non-Nintendo game? Thanks, and hope all is well. All is, for the most part, pretty well. I'm not dying. I'm healthy. Everything's good. So, do you think Breath of the Wild will be released on... no, Breath of the Wild will never be released on Xbox. That's not happening. Nintendo's very protective of their IP. It benefits Microsoft to have their games on Nintendo. It does not benefit Nintendo to have their games on Microsoft. Microsoft is looking to get their IP and sell it elsewhere. They already don't have their games exclusive on Xbox. They have it on, PC. So that just kind of goes along with what they're doing. They want to push their branding, their Xbox Live, and their Xbox Cloud as a platform. That's where they're moving in that direction, which is why we're seeing Xbox games come to Switch. Now, I don't think we're going to necessarily get the main big first-party exclusive games yet. We'll see. But we are hearing rumors about Rare Replay, Master Chief Collection, even Forza, and these are all like ports of older games, right? Or mobile counterparts, like for the Forza one. So yeah, I never expect Breath of the Wild or any sort of big Nintendo game to ever go to Xbox. Will a smaller one go? I don't know. We should first think about that before making the big leap to Breath of the Wild. But I don't even think that's the case. I think the relationship is that Microsoft benefits by having Microsoft games on Nintendo. Nintendo wants to keep all their IP on their system because that's what makes one of their systems so great and unique. Where would you like to travel to, even if I'm getting to the second part of your question? Where would you like to travel to, even if just for a weekend? And favorite non-Nintendo game? Favorite non-Nintendo game is Resident Evil 4. That's one of my favorite games of all time. I love it so much. It's incredible. I mean, yes, it came out first on GameCube, but it's also available on a whole bunch of other platforms. Resident Evil 4 is my favorite horror game ever. It's so good. It's one of the best games ever made. And I hope Resident Evil 2 Remake comes to Switch, but I probably should just get it for PS4. And I hope Leon has Kennedys in Smash. That'd be epic. But, oh yeah, one more thing you asked me. Where would you like to travel to, even if just for a weekend? There's so many places I want to travel. I want to travel the world. I've been to a decent amount of places already. I've been to a few islands of the Caribbean, like Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. I've been to Colombia and South America. I've been to Cali, but it was a long time ago. I would like to maybe try living in California at some point, maybe. I live in New Jersey, New York area. I've been to Pennsylvania, I've been to Florida. I lived in Georgia for a couple of years at one point. I've been to Europe. I've been to Spain, France, and Italy as part of this whole student ambassador program back when I was in high school. It was a cool experience. Those are pretty much all the places I've been to. I might be missing one, but that's all where I've been. I really love the idea of being able to go to Japan when Nintendo opens up the Universal Park. Maybe go to the Olympics. That's all. I think is that next summer. It might be next summer, which might be too late for me to do that. But I want to go to Japan, man. I love the Japanese culture. I would love to be a part of that Nintendo Universal Park. And if I could be there for the Olympics as well, it'd be amazing. But I think I might be too late for that to get tickets, or at least save up money to get tickets for it, because I don't even have to save up money for that. But I would love to go to Japan. But again, I would like to travel. I want to go to Australia. I want to go to New Zealand. I want to go to Antarctica. I want to go to the North Pole. Like, I want to go everywhere. Granted, if I go to Antarctica or the North Pole or like the Congo or something, I would want to be, appropriately equipped so I don't die or have any terrible ailments. But I want to travel everywhere. But the first place that comes to mind is Japan. Tokyo. That would be amazing. So, let me see. Let me continue on this question. And I'll get to the chat. See more people are in the chat. Dodger Coleman, what game are you playing right now? What are you excited to play? So, I've mentioned I worked on a Zelda video. I played through Ocarina of Time 3D all through again. I finished that this week. Besides that, what else have I been playing? I mean, I play Tetris 99 and Fortnite and Smash like a little bit every week. That's just kind of like the regular games I kind of pick up. And I just finished Ocarina of Time 3D. I've been meaning to get back to Dark Souls Remastered and finish that, but I haven't yet. That's kind of what I've been playing recently. I feel like there's one more game that I'm missing. Oh, I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake as well. Not Remake. Yeah, I want to play Remake. It hasn't come out. I want to play Final Fantasy VII. I've been playing, I should say. I've been playing on the Switch. It's pretty good. I'm getting into the story. I like it. Alright, so Sabbath. What are the top 10 remasters I would like to see come to Switch? Oh, top 10. Alright. Remasters. So remasters like Wii U ports, right? But not necessarily Wii U port. Well, definitely Rare Replay. Definitely Master Chief Collection. I would like to see Metro Prime Trilogy HD. Those are all remasters. The Pikmin 3 port is also rumored as well. So that's 4 right there. There's rumors for Witcher 3. I love the idea of being able to play Witcher 3 on the Switch, but I wonder how bad the graphics would be. But I'm going to put that in there. Hopefully it turns out really well. I should try out Dragon's Dogma, actually. I heard that port is pretty good. So I'm at 5. What else would I like to see? I would like to see... I would love to see an F-Zero GX HD, because I would love for that game to be remastered. Super Mario Sunshine HD, I think that game needs to be remastered. That would be an amazing game to have. That could be one of the ways we get a GameCube game on the Switch, and I would love that. I think that game, with a couple little fixes, could be an amazing, amazing Mario game. I love Mario Sunshine. What else? I think I'm at 6 or 7. I think I'm at 7. I would love to see Xenoblade X get ported over and remastered a little bit. Slightly better performance, graphics, and just kind of clean up some of the issues like the font and stuff, and how you can find items, some quality of life stuff, but also add a couple more adventures, a couple more missions. That'd be really cool to see. I think Star Fox Zero is beyond repair. I think in order to make Star Fox Zero a good game, they would have to completely change a whole bunch of aspects to it. So I would love it for Star Fox Zero to be fixed, but the amount of work that would need to do that, you might as well just make a whole new Star Fox game. So I'm not going to put that on the list. I would like to see Skyward Sword HD. I would prefer to see a trilogy HD collection of Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, and Skyward Sword HD. So there you go. That's on a remaster right there. And then one more. Let me give you one more. One more. Let me think. I want to see Spyro. The Spyro trilogy comes to Switch. I was really interested in playing it on PS1 back in the day, but I didn't have a PS1, so I never played it. I could play it on PS4, but I want to have it on Switch, so hopefully this is announced for Switch soon. I want that. Alright, I think we have one more question here to get to, and then we'll finish off in the chat. Alright, so Set73R. Do you think that with Labo VR and the Switch Pro that can run every Nintendo published game in 1080p on the upgraded portable screen, it will be a game changer? So if there is a Switch Pro that you plug into Labo VR and it can run every Nintendo published game at 1080p, will it be a game changer for VR or just gaming in general? I think it will definitely improve the performance. I guess it depends on how you define a game changer. I think for the hardcore gamer will really appreciate that difference. It'll make things look clearer and run better. Not even talking about VR, just like the Switch, a more powerful Switch will make games like Doom and Xenoblade 2 look and run so much better. Like, instantly look and run so much better. So that alone, to me, is a game changer. But for VR, making it an even more quality experience would be great. Now, granted, I haven't played Labo VR yet, so I can't really speak from personal experience. But it'll make it better. So I would say, yeah, it is a game changer. And I think it is something that will fit really nicely into this market. So, I mean, the rumors are that it's going to be happening. I believe there will be a upgraded Switch announced at some point. So, you know, fingers crossed, it does improve the visuals and performance for a lot of Switch games. So now let's get back to the chat. Alright, now where are we with the chat? Let's see how far behind I'm at. Computer Roast, do I have a relationship with my mom? She calls me, I answer. Look, you know, everything she did, I don't necessarily blame her for. You know, she was sick. Granted, there were things that happened, and some things I shouldn't say that involve other people that would be their private life, so I'm not gonna talk about that. But you know, she did a lot of things that I hold her accountable, but I don't hate her for it. You know, and a lot of it she was sick, and a lot of bad things have happened to her. But at the same time, I'm just being honest. I don't really have like a maternal relationship with my mom. I don't consider myself to have like a mom. I didn't have a mother figure growing up. It never really did. But she calls me, I say hi, you know, I talk to her, and I hope the best for her. But, you know, it is what it is. Whooper, you're saying yards wouldn't be too far-fetched because of Pocket Camp, I suppose. You're talking about a Brandon's idea involving the expanding into different areas. Okay. Brandon Stallion. Hey, Andres. Apparently, Vergaman confirmed that Erdrick is definitely coming to Smash, which is kind of a bummer because I was really holding out hope for Sora. Imagine how epic it would be for Sora. Sora would be amazing. Yeah, it really would be. But Erdrick could be really cool, too. And, again, I want to point out that while I do think Erdrick has a really good chance with Vergaman coming out and, like, saying it so confidently, I agree. Like, hey, it's probably Erdrick. So be prepared for that, guys. But until it's confirmed by Nintendo, I wouldn't assume it's happening. Like, don't 100% assume it's happening, right? But I do think it's pretty darn likely. And he could be really cool, so we'll see what happens. And there's still 3 other Smash characters, so we'll see what they are. The Yellow Kazoo, hello, how you doing? Sabbath, Andres, rare replay N64 edition for Switch. What games would you want on it? Ooh, man, that's a lot. That's a lot I want on there. So, Killer Instinct, Jet Force Gemini, Perfect Dark, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, that's 5. Come on, come up with more. You got more than that. Those are the ones I really want, honestly. Jet Force Gemini, Perfect Dark, Killer Instinct, and Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie. Diddy Kong Racing, Donkey Kong 64. Trying to think, what else is there that I really want? I know Blast Corps is another one, but I wasn't really... Oh, I dropped my phone. Oh, well. Sorry. I'll pick it up, though. Those are the games that are really, like, I really want. I want to come up with 10, but those are the ones I really, really want. I'm trying to think of some others. If they come up, I'll mention them, but those are the ones I really want. I'm probably missing something, like, critical, and I'll be like, oh my god, you idiot, how could you forget that one? But, yeah, I want those. Favorite anime, Gil? What's my favorite anime? Because that was a great question. I don't have one, because there's so many that I really enjoy. I think that the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood version, the director's cut Full Metal Alchemist that has 64 episodes long, is an example, one of the most complete story arcs, and it's really well told. It's very all-encompassing and comes full circle. I think as a beginning to end story, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is really, really good. So it's definitely up there. It's one of my favorites. I love Dragon Ball, right? But I'm not gonna pretend like Dragon Ball is like a really well done story. You know, I just love it because it's always been with me, and the fights are amazing, and there's some really good moments. Naruto I grew up with as well, was really cool. But I like a lot of current anime. I really, really enjoyed the Promised Neverland. That's an amazing anime. You guys should check it out. Promised Neverland is fantastic. Attack on Titan is really, really strong. I've recently started watching Demon Slayer. I think that's really good. It's only 4 episodes in, but I think it's really, really good. What else comes to mind that I really enjoy? My Hero Academia. That's, in terms of like the torchbearer for modern day shonen animes, I think My Hero Academia is top of the line. It's high quality. Those are some of my preferred anime. One Punch Man is really good. I'm a fan of Fairy Tail, but I wouldn't say Fairy Tail is like the best told, best well done anime. It isn't. I just think it's cool because I love Natsu and the magic and the fire and the dragons, and I just think it's awesome. So yeah, those are some of my favorite anime. I love One Piece and Bleach as well, of course. But yeah, those are some of my preferred anime. I'm sure there's a whole bunch I'm forgetting. There's so many of them, but yeah, I'm big. I'm a pretty big weeaboo. Brandon Stallion, a trailer to play at E3. Which the simple and clean instrumental orchestral version? What are you referring to? Oh, I think you're talking about the Sora thing. Oh, yeah, that would have been awesome to see if it happened. What kind of food would I like the most, Dale Kazoo? I eat everything. I eat everything. There's nothing I don't eat. I don't like beer, which isn't food. I don't like coffee. I don't like grapefruit. I eat everything else. So I guess everything else is the food I like the most. I mean, I love sushi. I love pizza. I love cheeseburgers. I love pasta. I love salads. I love everything, man. I'll say this. I love meat and I love cheese. I like having meat for dessert. I'm really big on meat. I love meat, which is so simple, I know, but any form of meat is good meat. Yeah, I know. I don't know. Weird. Have you ever seen Amish Paradise? No, I have not seen Amish Paradise. I don't know if you recommend someone. I'll check it out if it's good. Amish Paradise might be good, Yellow Kazoo. Right, NAK. Oh, you're adding Brandon Stallion. You're saying if Disney cooperated more, you can imagine the original Pirates of the Caribbean not being. Oh man, that music would be really cool. Oh, Southern California would be awesome, Sabbath. No, Fortnite is the Kansa. It's fun. And if you're saying you'd want to go to Japan and hang out at the Akatsuki terminal in Odaiba to walk around the city at night and enjoy the sights, that sounds amazing. See, that's stuff like that I would love to. There's so many beautiful things to check out there. I would need to be there for like a month or two to really see everything, I guess, or most things that I would want. Whooper, we stand Mario Sunshine. I need Mario Sunshine. I need it. Brandon Stallion, I can't find these comments he's reading. Oh, some of the comments I was reading are from my community posts on my channel. When I let you guys know that I was doing it. Brandon Stracher, would you like remasters of Pokemon Coliseum and XD? I don't mind it, but I'm not like necessarily like, oh, I need that. I'd rather just focus on a new Pokemon Coliseum kind of game. But I mean, Pokemon Sword and Shield is on the Switch, right? It's having a big focus on Coliseum battles. It seems to be a bigger, more of a spectacle. What I want is them to have like a rentals kind of mode, like in Pokemon Stadium in Pokemon Sword and Shield, to enable like local multiplayer battles. Since it is on a console and the Switch is about like local multiplayer, hopefully they could reintroduce the whole rental battle system into Pokemon Sword and Shield to have kind of like a stadium mode in the game. That would be really cool. That's what I really want. I don't necessarily need an XD or Coliseum remake, but if they had it, I'd be interested in trying and checking them out, of course. Yellow Kazoo, you think Labo VR is A+? Okay. Where's my pupper? He's outside. I brought him in. He just make a huge mess, so I'm not going to do that. But, you know, it'd be dope. Computer wrote Falcon Punch. Oh my God, a Falcon! I want you know what? I'm really into the whole Falcon, Captain Falcon joke on Game Explain. I would love it if there was like a Captain Falcon space adventure. That'd be cool, but it better be about racing, because I'd be really upset if there wasn't racing in it. Just saying. NAK, there is Spyro Reignited Trilogy, and one of its platforms. Is it? It hasn't been confirmed for Switch yet, right? I hope it happens. There he is, right there. Actually, there's Houston barking. Oh man, I forgot Conker's Bad Fur Day and Double Oh My. See, there you go. Thank you, Sabbath. Those are two other like rare games I completely forgot they need on an actual, you know, rare replay N64 edition. Conker's Bad Fur Day and 007 GoldenEye. I can't believe I forgot those. Are like incredibly important. Yes, Sabbath. Attack on Titan is back from its break. You think Full Metal Alchemist is trash? I think... Did you see Brotherhood? Brotherhood is the special, director's version. That's the clean version, no filler. Watch that one if you haven't seen it. It's way better than the original Full Metal Alchemist. Yeah, and, Dragon Ball Z is a classic, right, Kazoo? And yes, I'm a total weeb. Minecraft, which other Nintendo YouTubers do you follow? So, in terms of people that I'm literally subscribed to, I'm subscribed to... you know what? It's probably easier for me to just go to my subscriptions page and just read them off. The ones that pop out at me, at least. No, go to YouTube. I want to read my subscriptions. All right, here we go. Here we go. Come on, show me a list of my subscriptions. That's not what. No, I want to see a list. Oh, there we go. Okay. Player Essence, Aaron Mar, Arrow. I don't think Alana Pierce is necessarily a Nintendo YouTuber. Alex and his cat, Alex C&D, Arlo, Austin John Plays, Beat 'em Ups, Billy Bell 10K, Birdkeeper Toby, Blocked Content, Blundy, Bob Dunga, Boogie, Ryutik USA, let me see, who else is I'm really into? Commonwealth Realm used to be pretty. I used to enjoy a lot of their videos. DGR. Oh, I love DGR. DGR is amazing because he does all these different like Mario runs, like different Mario platformer runs. Like if you want to see him do like crazy stuff in Mario games, check out DGR. He's amazing. Let me see. Dr. Wily. Who else? I mean, I am subscribed to Etika, but there's that. Game Explain, of course. Go Nintendo. HMK. And of course, I'm going to give shout-outs to I Am Shifty, What About Nintendo, The Yellow Kazoo, Inside Gaming Online, Mars, Brandon, Mollo64. Well, if I missed someone, I'm sorry, guys. You're all great. Manually Plays. Who else I really enjoy? Oh, Joy Boy Theories is not a Nintendo channel. I haven't subscribed to way too many people. By the way, Mars' channel is Lazy James, by the way, guys. Medi333 was really cool because he covers a lot of Breath of the Wild stuff. Like, he does a whole bunch of different really cool stuff in Breath of the Wild. He's really cool. Nintendo voice chat, I guess. Let me see. Papagenos, Omni. I think RGT85. Trying to Scott the Waz is great. Scott the Waz is really hilarious. He's super cool. Spawnwave's always good with the news. Switch Force, alright. I am subscribed to the BitBlock. This is true. Tokyo Source isn't really a Nintendo YouTuber, but they cover video games and anime. Yeah, those are some of them. Young Yegg's pretty cool. Oh, Zeltic's also really cool. Zeltic covers a lot of incredible Zelda content, so if you guys love Zelda stuff, check out Zeltic. But those are some of them. Where am I with the chat? Alright, guys, last, where are we? Alright, 5 more minutes and we're calling it a night, because I gotta get going. So if you have any final questions, put them out now. We're gonna go through it. We're gonna call it a night. But this has been a great Q&A. I think I did not expect this many questions. I did not expect this. I appreciate the love, guys. All right, Computer Russ, you're admin. What would your reaction be if we get another Fire Emblem, not only for Smash, but is identical to Marth, Lucina, and Roy and Chrom? I wouldn't believe it. I'd be in disbelief if that happened. Yep, the 3DS is officially dead. Nintendo announced that they're putting down their production. I mean, it's been kind of like that for sure happening and obvious for a while, but it's official now. Brandon Stanley, hey Andres, I want GameCube games on Switch Online, but not for the games that most people want. I want to play Mario Party 4 through 7 on the go. The GameCube Mario Party games are some of the best in the series. That'd actually be really awesome to have. That's a great point to have those games on the go like that. Truly, truly amazing. Oh, okay, because you don't think Brotherhood was trash. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Computer robots. Andres Priester, what is your favorite spirit battle and why? My favorite spirit battle. I gotta be honest with you. I'm having trouble remembering them. It's been a little bit for me. There were some cool ones that I vaguely remember. I have to kind of like pull out of my head. Let me think. You know what? I don't remember. I don't remember. And now, it's not that I didn't enjoy them. There were some that were just really hard. I remember this one where I had to fight like 4 Falcos. And this was before I started leveling up my spirits, by the way. So, like, I was doing all at level 1. It was really, really hard for me. So, I needed to, like, jack them all up to, like, level 99 before I started standing it. And then it became easy. It became easy once I jacked everything up to level 99. I really appreciated the Geno one. That was cute. That made me a little happy. But I can't. I remember going into the Donkey Kong Country area, and that was really cool. But I'm trying to remember a specific spirit battle. I just can't. Oh well, there's one I remember. There is a Snorlax fight where you fight King K. Rool, except it's giant and like dark green or black. That's really cool because it was like, oh, you're fighting a giant like Snorlax. That was a really cool one. I really appreciated that. And just little things like that I appreciate it, but I can't. They just don't come to mind because there's just so many of them. It's like all a blur to me. Sabbath, I believe I am subscribed to Struggle Conroy, yeah. Oh, Conroy followed you the other day, you Yellow Kazoo. You lucky, you famous person, you. DGR is amazing. I'm glad you agree. I would love it if I got my own amiibo. I'm actually going to the gym now, so hopefully I can be in pretty good shape, so it'd actually be like a badass looking amiibo. Just give me a couple months. I'm getting back into shape. And okay, player essence would be hyped if Leon Kenny became DLC in Smash 2. Oh my god, man. He's great taste. Leon Kenny's the best. Yeah, Yellow Kazoo. Spawnway is a really cool dude. He's always great with the information. Love him. Minecraft. Hey all, Scott here. Yeah, he's like, hey all, Scott here. And then he just some random crap and then just jumps into, ooh, sorry microphone. He just jumps into the videos. I love it. He's fantastic. He makes me laugh. DGR rated you, the Yellow Kazoo? Oh my god, I'm a little jealous. I'm a little jealous. And okay, since Nintendo's going all out with the Joker's mechanic of Arsane and Memento's changing depending on the Persona game tracks, what mechanics could you think of for other potential characters? So, I don't think Rex and Pyra are part of this Fighters Pass, but I'm just gonna talk about Rex and Pyra because that's one that I have really well thought out in my head. Rex and Pyra are a duo. If he plays Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you could even have a couple other blades switch in kind of like as well. But basically, Rex does all of the A attacks, right? But Pyra would be all the B attacks. So she'd be kind of like tether tube from behind, right? Just how it is in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So imagine like Rosalina and Luma, except with Rosalina, you're in control of her and you say Luma out. Imagine it in reverse, where Pyra's behind you, tethered, and she comes in to back you up to like block some things or do some special attacks. But you are in control of yourself and she follows you around. That's how I kind of imagine it. And I imagine maybe if they have the time to, you press down B and you switch the blade you have behind you. Maybe it's not always Pyra. That's how I kind of imagine it working, where she's tethered to you and she comes in for certain attacks, but goes behind and blocks for you as well. And then, of course, with the final smash, it's really strong. And maybe they have some sort of party gauge that builds up throughout the battle as well, just kind of like with Cloud and Joker. That's kind of how I imagine Rex and Pyra if they were to be added to Smash Brothers, but I don't think that they're a part of this initial Fighters Pass. Another person or character combination, Banjo-Kazooie, I mean, like, they have all their different moves. Like, of course, they would be able to fly and flutter. They could shoot eggs, fart eggs. That'd be interesting to see. So you had multiple range attacks with the egg attacks. The beak attacks would be really cool. Jumping onto Kazoo and running around really quick at certain moments would be really cool. Maybe that could be like his side B charge or something like that. Or maybe it could just be his dash. So I can easily envision Banjo-Kazooie as well. It'd be really fun to have. Yeah, Kazoo, I don't stream enough to get rated. That's true. Absolutely true. Sabbath, dude, that Pepto-Bismol in the background of Scott's videos always cracks. It's just amazing. Branstow, do you think Nintendo can squeeze a Paper Mario announcement into E3 2019? One of that goes back to Darude, such as partners, badges, chapters, permanent attack options, etc. Well, I'll give you this, Brandon Stallion. I don't think there's really any realistic way Paper Mario comes out this year. I mean, it could happen. There might be a game or two that Nintendo has around up their sleeve that they'll announce for this year. But it doesn't mean they won't announce any games for next year, right? They may have a couple games that are coming out in the first half of 2020 that they will show off and announce at E3. So, yeah, I think we could see those there. I think it'll work out. It would be... And Paper Mario is an option. I'm not going to tell you to expect it, but there's a few games that I think we could maybe see at E3 that could be for early 2020. And I think Paper Mario is definitely one of those considerations. Just McGee. Can we get an obituary for the 3DS to close? If it's too too close of its years. Also, what did you think of the last week's episode of JoJo without going into too much detail? Goodbye 3DS. All right, so for JoJo, I wasn't ready for that. I saw it like a day before the Game of Thrones season 3 episode, which was also supposed to be a big deal. I'll tell you this: the JoJo episode had me more emotional than the Game of Thrones episode. It did. I was not ready for that. It wasn't. But I was reminded that the JoJo series is tough sometimes. Like it does things that it's not scared to make sacrifices. So yeah, it was a great episode, I think. NK, I can imagine an ammo and reload mechanic for Conquer. His down special will be to switch up and equip for 4 different guns, which are a revolver, a shotgun, and an SMG and a bazooka. I don't think Conquer would make it into Smash, but if it did happen, I would love that. I mean, it would be so cool, but Nintendo has a history of not being happy about Conquer's bad fur days. I just don't see it ever happening, but I mean, it would be so cool to see. Sabbath, I hope Nintendo's E3 just isn't focused on one thing this year. It isn't. There's too many games to talk about. I mean, maybe it's like a Pokemon Animal Crossing like area, but they're going to talk about a lot of games this year. Unless Rare Retro's game is like the big game of this year. I don't know. Hey man, if it's like some crazy new game, they have a whole park for it, that'd be amazing to see. Right, we're near at the close, guys, so I'm going to read the last couple comments and I'm going to call it a night. Alright, so NAK, neutral special will be to use whatever gun is equipped. When your gun runs out of ammo, you press B to reload, and you must be in a safe position or any other attacks will cancel out. Brandon Stallion, honestly, I feel like the 3DS should get one last send-off, and to do that, I think they need to release a Partners in Time remake. It'd be weird to release it on Switch since it's the second game. Hey, okay. I wouldn't be surprised if they have one more remake. They could maybe do one more. I could see that. And the first and third party games are already in 3DS graphics. Okay. Yeah, that's not, I don't think that's crazy. I got you, Justin. I kind of figured. Sabbath, but the funny thing is that Conquer's Bad Fur is a classic on this, so Nintendo should learn to love it. Yeah, they should learn to love it, right? Maybe they would be more open to that. And with the whole relationship between Microsoft and Nintendo, maybe the door will open to see Conquer on Nintendo again. But first, let's worry about getting Banjo, and then we'll move on to Conquer later on. I think there's steps to this. But anyways, I think we're at the end of the stream. I said this would be an hour. We're nearing an hour and 40 minutes. I wanted to keep it shorter so people who are looking to see their questions, like, come back and watch this after the fact. But this one's longer, but it seems like you guys are here. You guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate it. It's been awesome. So stay tuned. Hopefully I come up with a Zelda video tomorrow, if not Saturday, but I'm trying to get it out tomorrow. So I'll see you guys. Take care. Thank you so much for being there and being awesome, guys. All right. Bye.